We hope you stay safe, and we hope that even if it is for just a short time, that Barça will be able to bring some joy into your hearts. It's the second leg of the Europa League playoff round. It is win or go home. It is Barça-Napoli right here on Barça TV+.
El nom de l'estadi és Maradona, per tant doncs, és una extra motivació per nosaltres, per fer un gran partit, per demostrar doncs, a tota Europa doncs, que el Barça està tornant, que estem a un bon nivell i que depenem de nosaltres mateixos per passar l'eliminatòria. Estem molt motivats.
Welcome again to the show, and as Ferran Torres cancelled out Zielinski's opening goal, things ended all square over the Camp Nou in the first game. So, on everyone's mind right now is what will the starting 11 be for Xavi? Will he implement any changes after what have been some very good performances indeed? Well, to find that out, let's head on over to southern Italy to connect with Mai Rostro to find out today's starting 11. Mai. We're having some connection problems, but pretty soon we will be able to connect with Mai to give us today a starting 11. We hope, of course, that our Warriors will be ready for the task at hand. It seems that we have Mai ready, so let's head on back over to Naples and connect with Mai Rostro. Mai.
Yes, Diego, indeed. We're here at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, ready for the second leg of the Europa League against Napoli. And we already have the starting lineup for today's game. 3 changes in the starting lineup for Barça, and goes like this. Ter Stegen in goal, back four with Serginho Dest, Piqué, Araujo and Jordi Alba. In midfield, Sergio Busquets, Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. And up front, Adama, Aubameyang and Ferran Torres. The 11 men who will start in this game against Napoli. We will see what's going to happen, but at least we already have this starting lineup.
Thank you for that, Mai. We'll be connecting with you a little bit later to find out the starting 11 of today's host. But today's studio panel, to the right of me, we are joined by Rob von Eckhout, Pau Casasa and Bruno Ballester. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Excited. It is
a final.
It feels like a final. Xavi said it's a final.
Yeah.
It's win or go home for Barca, with the possibility, of course, of extra time.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that won't be the case.
We'll see. We'll see.
Don't want a late night.
We'll see. Yeah, exactly.
But
right?
yeah, no, excited about it. We've put out a brave lineup, as always, with Xavi Hernandez. The 3 signings from the winter transfer market did well in the first leg against Napoli at their Camp Nou, and they get rewarded with the start tonight in Naples. So let's see if Barca can put in a similar performance to the one we saw at Camp Nou. Of course, it will be difficult because Napoli are now playing at home with their fans behind them. I think we'll see a different Napoli, but we'll talk about that at length in the show.
Pau, 3 changes compared to last game. What do you make of Xavi's starting 11?
Well, it's clear that Xavi has a lot of options at this point in the midfield and up front. He gave the chance to Dembélé to play in the previous game. Now it's Adama back again. Aubameyang has been scoring and is doing very well, so it's logical that he has this continuity. And Ferran Torres, he was a player that we spoke about in the last game against Napoli, precisely that he had a lot of chances but didn't score many except for the penalty, and it was clear that Xavi would give him the opportunity of proving himself again in the Europa League. So at the end, it's going to be a team that will want to have the ball as normally and will generate a lot of chances probably.
Bruno, Pau just mentioned that Xavi does have a lot of players to pick from. Still, of course, several key players missing, the likes of Dani Alves, who isn't registered, as well as Memphis. Ansu Fati still out in the forward, and in the back, of course, we have Sergio Roberto Umtiti and Clément Lenglet still out. But again, to echo what Pau was saying, still so many players to pick from for Xavi.
Yes, of course, but I think that Xavi in the end has picked the best 11, taking into account the circumstances, the ones that he can select the best one for him nowadays. Not thinking in Sunday's game, not thinking in the past. I mean, the 11 players that he thinks are the best ones to win this second leg against Napoli, and I think he has gone then with everything. Let's see, of course, if we can experience again another move back the times and live a great European night, because Barça deserves, I think, after suffering a lot in Europe. So let's see if we can move back.
I was going to say, Bruno, just be careful with what you're saying with the best 11, because you'll get those rowdy Gavi and Nico fans behind you coming to get you.
No, absolutely.
It's rare to see that neither Gavi nor Nico are in the starting lineup, but it's good.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign, of course, and they're great weapons to have coming off of the bench if you need to revolutionize the game.
Well, why don't we find out to see if our head coach Xavi Hernandez was asked about the changes. Let's connect with Xavi over in Naples.
Sí, com és habitual, en competició europea, la prèvia del partit ens atén l'entrenador del Barça, Xavi Hernández. Xavi, què tal? Bona nit.
Bona nit, molt bé.
Aquesta pregunta te la vaig fer a l'acabar el partit d'anada, te la vaig fer ahir també, però ara que queden pocs minuts, us canvien alguna cosa?
We're just a few minutes away from the game.
Perquè avui comenceu el partit que amb el 0-0, de moment, respecte a altres temporades...
We're starting this really with a 0-0 scoreline from the first leg. Nothing changes for us. Even if we won 2-1 or lost 3-1, we would have gone for the victory in this one. That's what we're going to do, because we think that that's the way to win games. We need to show our personality. We need to have an away game in Europe, which is always difficult. It's always a baptism of fire for us. We need to compete. We need to try to compete with the 11 that we play, and we've got the personality for these games.
Un canvi per línia a l'11, Xavi, tornen Piqué, Pedri i també...
Piqué, Pedri and Adama are both back in from this game, having missed the game against Valencia.
Estan donant un plus també tota la plantilla, com estaves demanant, que pots anar fent canvis i rotacions.
Sí, fem rotacions.
We've been making rotations. It isn't easy to make the starting 11 today, to put it together, because we've got a lot of players here who are doing well. Those players who are on the bench, all of them are training very well. Well, we try to field the best 11 possible, but we're prepared, and we've got players who will come on in the second half to help the team. Are you expecting a different Napoli today? A little bit different. I think they're more comfortable playing at home in front of their fans, and they'll be going for it right from the start. I think they'll be very intense, and they'll be trying to get the ball back after losing it. I think it will be a little bit harder for us in this game, but we'll try and impose our personality.
Only a few minutes to go with this important game.
Oh, the team is really motivated, really excited to start the game. We are prepared. We want to compete well. Of course, it's a really tough game, really difficult game here in Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. But I think we are ready. We're going to compete.
Gracias, Xavi.
Gracias.
The words there were head coach Xavi Hernandez, and of course the host Napoli are also missing some key players. Several players are doubt as well ahead of this game, so why don't we connect again with My Rostro to find out the starting 11 of Naples.
Yes, Diego, we can confirm the starting lineup for the home team. Luciano Spalletti decided to start this second leg of the Europa League against Barça with Alex Meret in goal, Di Lorenzo, Ramani, Koulibaly and Mario Rui in defense. Then the midfield for Fabian Ruiz, Diego Demme, Elmas, Insigne, and the one who scored the goal at Camp Nou, Zielinski. And then up front, their number 9, Osimhen. As you guys know, they arrived to this game against Barça with 3 important players out due to injury, like Lozano, Lobotka, and this time is Anguissa, the one who will miss this game. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you for that, Mai. Again, we heard it there from our pitchside reporter. Mai, key players missing, the likes of Lobotka, Lozano. We talked about it in the countdown as well. Several players that were somewhat banged up ahead of this game, like Di Lorenzo and Insigne as well, the captain, of course.
Both of them in the lineup?
Both of them in the lineup, yeah.
Yes. Spalletti, well, Napoli had a game on Monday. Yeah. Spalletti put out a very different lineup to the one that we're seeing today, obviously giving his players some rest ahead of this crucial tie for them. I think they're going to miss Anguissa in midfield, the muscle in midfield. We saw him covering the likes of Pedri and Frankie de Jong the other day, and Nico as well. And I think we're going to see a very different Napoli to the one that we saw at Camp Nou. We were talking about it yesterday on the countdown. Fabian Ruiz set out the intentions of the team in the press conference before the game at Camp Nou, saying that they wanted to compete for possession with Barca. They didn't necessarily achieve that at Camp Nou. I think they're going to come out with the same idea today, maybe with a little bit more success.
But is that going to suit Barca's interest? Is Xavi going to be looking forward to seeing a side that's going to try to compete with Barca in terms of possession?
Well, we saw some benefits in the previous game, which was that they took a lot of risks starting from the back, and we actually had a high percentage of recoveries. I believe it was 11 around the 60th minute, 11 recoveries at the opponent's half, which is something that we really want to see. Barca recovering close to the opponent's goal, and them trying to play obviously makes it more likely for us to recover than them playing long. So at the end, this is going to be a positive thing for us, although we know that at the end they have that alternative with Osimhen playing long, that we will see tonight how Piqué and Araujo deal with this player, because at the first game he couldn't receive and turn, he couldn't receive into space much, but today it's going to be
just 17 touches in the game on last Thursday at Camp Nou. Osimhen, he was barely involved, even though he did create one dangerous opportunity.
Yes, in the end, well, Diego Demme is also a similar profile like Anguissa, so yeah, it's true that they lose a little bit, but at the other time it's going to be a kind of a similar profile, and I don't think this is going to change a lot the plans for Spalletti in that position.
He's going to have a lot of hard work to do next to Fabian Ruiz, though, right?
Yeah. And the big change probably is in the left back. Mario Rui, who was supposed to start in the first leg, is the starter normally there in the left. On one hand, it's true that defensively, Barca probably can hurt and he can suffer with Adama, but remember that the other day they picked 2 players to defend Adama. Let's see how they do it today. But on the other hand, Napoli wins a lot in attack. It's a player, we saw it against Cagliari, who likes to go up front and test the goalkeeper. So probably a more offensive change there, and we will have to see if they continue with the idea to take 2 players to defend Adama Traoré, or if they just believe in Mario Rui.
Well, it looks like Marc-Andre ter Stegen will have his work cut out for him indeed against this Napoli side, who we all expect will be more offensive. In fact, why don't we have a listen to what our goalkeeper had to say ahead of this match?
Well, it wouldn't make a difference wherever we are. We want to win, no? And obviously here we have the chance to get to the next round, which is a big, which would be a good achievement. And yeah, we go for everything. We want to be successful in the Europa League, and this is why we came, and we want to win the game. Nothing else to say. I think yeah, the fans of Barca will be cheering for us, and I'm convinced by what we're doing right now. Yeah, definitely. I think this has a big influence on many games now in Champions League, in Europa League, wherever it will take place. And well, now of course it's only about winning, which makes the competition and everything nicer. And nobody's here to let's see how do we need to play. That's no. It's winning and nothing else. And this is what the supporters also want to see.
Well, Marc-Andre ter Stegen knows what the spectators want. He likes the fact that of course, the away goal has been ruled out. He's expecting more spectacle. Pau, it's something that we discussed as well on the countdown. We didn't get your thoughts about it. How do you see the fact that the away goal rule has been abolished, let's say?
At the end, it's definitely taking pressure out of players, at least another one variable they don't have to think about. It's about just getting a good result, better than the one that they got in the first game. To me, it's kind of fair. I'm not gonna have an opinion about market-wise, if it's more positive or less for the business. But at the end, for the game, probably to me it sounds fair.
And Marc-Andre ter Stegen, of course, who attended the media yesterday. He talked to Marc Brau after those two questions in English. He got asked two questions in Spanish, and the last question was, "Are you ready for the penalties?" And he says, "I'm always ready. I'm always ready." So and he did say, of course, that is one of the things that the team had to prepare for today's game. Obviously, knowing the tendencies of penalty takers for that possible outcome in the game. An entertaining press conference for Marc-Andre ter Stegen, not because of the translation part.
A little bit long.
It took a little bit too long, but obviously talking about. How he's recovered after injury, all the opinions that have been about him. He says he's set out to do his job and he's doing his best possible.
Yes, and in the first 4 ties played at the first kickoff at 7 p.m., none of them are going to go to extra time. So, I mean, so far it's not making any effect, this new rule. We will have to see it now in the late kickoff games, the 4 legs remaining.
Also, Bruno, I mean, Robert touched upon the fact that a lot of the questions were geared with regards about his performances for the international viewers that are maybe not privy to what gets discussed in the local media. He has been on the end of some harsh criticism, in my opinion, too harsh.
Yes, it's always really tough to be a Barca's goalkeeper. In the end, he says arrive you 2, 3, 4 times in a game. You have to save all the shots. I mean, it's always really difficult, and it's true that he has brought in some goals, not being at his best. But on the other hand, he has saved also in same games where you can make a mistake, then he saves you a key ball. So I mean, I don't think that marking the responsibilities of the problems of Barca and ter Stegen will be really unfair for all what he has been giving to the club during all his career, showing his commitment, his professionalism, and also this season has been important. I remember a game in Kiev, for example, who was key to get the victory and keep alive in the Champions League. So ter Stegen is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and I don't think this is a doubt. But I mean, as he was saying, also the press, you always have to write about something, and now you are going against me. I mean,
and the press always know better. The press always know better.
Always know better. The couch coaches. Yeah. Well, as the time is ticking away and we're nearing kickoff, I'm sure that the atmosphere must be heating up. So why don't we connect with Mai once more to get a feel of the atmosphere over at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. And also, Mai, we would like to know your prediction, of course, for today's match.
Well, guys, I have to go to my position with Jordi because we have to get ready for this game, which is about to start. Kickoff is just in some minutes. We're going in, and for sure, I have to talk about my prediction, guys. The score, I would say, is a 3-1 because I had this feeling that actually last time we played against Napoli in official competition, it was a 1-1 draw, and then we won at Camp Nou 3-1. Right now, the story is the opposite. We draw 1-1 at Camp Nou, and I feel that we're going to win today at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium for 3-1. Why not? I will talk to you guys after the game, so see you soon.
I like it, Mai. 3-1, an ambitious 3-1. I'll certainly sign on to that. Means no suffering, means we get to go home nice and early? No,
not
on
early,
time,
but earlier.
On time. Earlier. Well, Mai touched upon it there. That was, of course, last season. But why don't we take a look at the result that happened just a week ago over in the Camp Nou, where things ended all square in the first leg.
Yes, that game in which Barca created no end of opportunities. We had a total of 21 shots. The banner there saying together, we are unstoppable. That's the opportunity that we were talking about before for Osimhen. The only time he managed to get into the box and test Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Good reaction there by our keeper. One of the things that Barca will have to keep an eye on, of course, is transitions, Paul.
Yeah, so Osimhen is a very dangerous player in terms of running backward. We know that Araujo and Piqué tend to run backward too, so we'll see how they deal with this player.
And here, the goal that Barca conceded felt a little bit like it came out of nowhere because Barca were dominating.
Yes, in the end, all these kind of details are going to be really important because in a really equal tie like this one, missing a chance like the one of Ferran today and then conceding this goal can decide your future in Europe. So then Ferran, he scored a penalty in a difficult game for him because he was having lots of chances but wasn't clinical at all. But this shows a lot from him, taking the responsibility to take this important penalty, and in a game that you know that you are probably not at your best, says a lot about Ferran Torres and his courage.
Yeah, are we right though, Pau, in saying that he was in the right place at the right time, and all that was missing was that execution?
Yes, he did participate in generating those chances. You were saying 21 shots. It's a lot, and he was very close to all of them, providing options. So it's one of the best things he can provide, actually.
That was the last opportunity, the one we're going to see right now of Ferran Torres, set up by Luke de Jong, who came on late and also had an impact on how the team were playing and created a couple of opportunities for himself. We saw the desperation in the look of Ferran Torres. Hopefully there'll be a better outcome tonight.
We certainly hope so, and why not with the help of 3 new additions that, of course, made a ginormous impact in that first game. Aubameyang, Adama, and Ferran Torres as well. 3 players, like I said, that just had an immediate impact. We were discussing yesterday, potentially maybe the best winter signings in the history of Barça.
Yes, I don't have such a good memory, not as good as yours, but
I mean, especially if we take into account that it's 3 impactful players.
That's
I mean,
what I'm
sometimes we've made 1 impactful signing, like Davids.
I think that's the one.
Right. 3 qualitative players.
Yeah.
I don't remember any winter like this.
Yeah. I only remember Davids.
And probably has been the most expensive signing Ferran in a winter transfer for Barcelona, for sure. I mean, you know, sometimes or you don't spend so many money in winter, but in this case, well, the situation of Barça and the problems that they have in summer, well, they were desperately going to the market, and in this case, I think all the team has done a brilliant job to find great replacements. One that has cost 55 million, but then the other one's free of charge. I mean, on loan and with great deals, I think. So yeah, fantastic transfer market for Barça, and yeah, all these 3 signings showing their talent and giving points and goals for the Blaugrana so far.
3 players who've made an immediate impact, which is rare to see. We saw Adama come on against Atletico Madrid looking electrifying. Ferran scoring in his 2nd game in that Super Cup, Cup game in Bilbao. And Aubameyang getting a hat-trick, a debatable hat-trick maybe, but a hat-trick
a reluctant hat-trick even. Yeah, exactly. Got that eventually with the Espaldinha, right? That, of course, contributed to his hat-trick. Another player that is having an impactful season is 19 years old, and he's hailed as one of the greatest football talents in the world by his head coach, Xavi Hernandez. He doesn't miss an opportunity to commend this player's performance, and I'm, of course, talking about Pedri.
Pedri is magic. He's creative. He's got great vision. He's competitive. Pedri is
espectacular, és espectacular. O sigui, a nivell de talent, jo crec que no hi ha un talent més gran en el món en aquests moments que Pedri.
At the young age of 19, he's become the player you call over when things aren't going your way. He's the player who you tell.
Ha de marcar diferències per l'equip, no només en el joc, sinó arribar a l'àrea, xutar.
And he goes out and does that. Pedri has dazzling, eye-catching talent. The game is played at his pace.
Que dona pausa, que no la perd, que es perfila per un cantó, per l'altre, domina les 2 cames. Bé, és un futbolista superlatiu.
He's missed a big part of the season due to injury, but he's come back firing. In his own words.
Yo tenía la confianza de trabajar bien y trabajar para volver lo mejor posible y la verdad que ha sido así. El míster está confiando en mí y muy contento por la confianza y espero pues devolvérsela en el campo.
The mutual trust is there. Right now, he's hard to stop on a football pitch. Control, turn, go. Control, turn, go. Like student, like teacher. Pedri plays to the rhythm of his own music. He dances to it on the pitch. Every step in sync. It's poetry in motion. Are there any limits to what he can do?
Y no me gusta ponerme límites, quiero seguir pues disfrutando de lo que hago día a día y mejorando, que es lo que tengo que hacer.
Continue to enjoy what you're doing, Pedri. We've all got your back.
L'hem de cuidar, l'hem de mimar, que estigui feliç, que estigui content.
Well, we certainly hope that, of course, he will be happy, and it looks certainly that way, Pau, looking at the way that he plays, the way he's, of course, gelled in from the very first day with his team, and now having a coach teach him or continue to his development, the likes of Xavi, it must be a match made in heaven for these two, for both coach and player, that I mean.
Yes, you don't know how these players have this Barça DNA inherent to themselves. They just come here, they feel like in home, and they feel very comfortable with the colleagues, with the teammates, start from the very first day. And it's just a fantastic player, especially when he plays with not many spaces. I heard somebody saying that when everything happens quick, he has the capacity of making it go slowly but more precisely, and then being the fastest, no, or the most efficient one, which at the end is what we want.
Yes, we've talked about signings, about the winter transfer signings. Pedri was signed 2 years ago, and he continues like this. Probably can be the best signing of Barça, and I don't know if in the whole history, but in recent history, for sure. Ramon Planas was in charge of the secretarial area, and I mean it was fantastic. We were discussing about the winter transfer markets, and well, it's true that the most expensive was Coutinho, because he was supposed to be signing in summer, but then there was all the problems. Yeah, Coutinho was, I mean, a big signing that hasn't worked like everyone was expecting, and now let's see if Ferran can add these goals with Aubameyang and Adama.
Well, Pedri sent out a tweet, or Barça rather sent out a tweet earlier today saying our young guns are ready for Napoli-Barça. Seeing Gavi, Nico there, and Pedri, these three, the future, the present and the future of this.
In good company there. In great company there. The two players who are not starting today, Gavi and Nico, I'm sure we'll see them in the game. It would be very surprising to me if we don't see them in the game today. They're two players, two of Xavi's favourite players, of course. And the future is bright when you see that photograph.
No, it's amazing, the atmosphere that all these young group of players are creating. These new energies, and the best news is that they are almost all under 20 players, so it's fantastic because they can shine in the future for Barça. And also a really important aspect is that all of them, Pedri, Gavi and Nico for sure, but also Pedri, they all love the colors. Gavi and Nico because have been in the academy, and Pedri, we saw him with 10, 12 years old in a Peña there in Tenerife, with the fans club there, with President Laporta in his first era, signing a shirt, and he always has also supported Barça, and that's really important, to be where you want to be and to feel the colors in the end.
Well, it seems that we could sit here all day and talk about these players, but as we can see on our screens, the players have already taken to the pitch as the anthem of the Europa League is playing. So that means at this point in time, I would be asking for your scores. When we start with our guest, Pau.
I think it's going to be a 0-2 for Barça.
Okay.
2-1 up for Barça. I think it's going to be a really tight game.
Pau saw me voting on the Barça app on my phone and copied my result. I was going with a 2-0 as well. I'm going to submit my vote on the Barça app right now.
2-0. Okay, good. I'm going to go... Guys, I think it's going to be a long night. I'm going to go for 2-2. We're going to win this one in penalties. I'm really sorry, but that's what my gut is telling me. Of course, you at home can participate in this as well by downloading the app or going to the website by guessing the score. It's called the Matchday Challenge, and you'll be privy to exclusive prizes by guessing the score, taking part in the game quiz, and eventually rating the game at the end of it. You can win prizes like shirts, Barça shirts, and a trip over to Barcelona to watch the Clásico next season.
Lineups. One
more time, the lineups? Yes.
Let's take one more look at the lineups for tonight's crucial game in Naples. Let's start with Barca's lineup. Xavi will start with Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal. Defensive line of four with Serginho Dest, Araujo, Piqué and Jordi Alba. In midfield, Sergio Busquets, Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. And up front, the three signings from the winter transfer market, Adama, Aubameyang and Ferran Torres. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Luciano Spalletti and Napoli. Alex Meret in goal, a 4-2-3-1 formation with Di Lorenzo, Rahmani, Koulibaly and Mario Rui at the back. The double pivot with Fabian Ruiz and Deme. Elmas on the right, Insigne on the left. The attacking midfielder will be Zielinski, and up front, their top scorer this season, Osimhen. Diego.
Yes.
We shall see you in the post-game.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully to celebrate the win, and that will be in tomorrow's draw for the next round of the Europa League.
Let's hope so. Godspeed, gentlemen.
Right. I'm hoping you won't get your prediction right, by the way, because I'm really not looking forward to extra time.
It's what the gut's telling me. It's what the gut tells me.
You want to go early at home, Robert, this evening?
I don't want the tension of extra time. Or penalties.
We should have said 1-1, 2-2,
1-2,
3-3, 0-0.
0-0, the boring result. Anyway, the players are on the pitch, ready to go. Barca playing in the Señera kit, and Napoli playing in a kind of dark blue kit there.
A fantastic atmosphere at the now called Diego Maradona Stadium, sold out of 75% capacity. That's important. They don't have a full capacity stadium yet due to COVID-19 restrictions. And just another important stat, or fact, that Gerard Piqué and Gavi are the two Barca players that are one card away from suspension.
Okay, we'll have to keep an eye out for that as we're waiting for the game to start. 9 o'clock kickoff in Naples, and Barca looking for a win to make it into the round of 16 of the Europa League, where the leaders of the group stage of the Europa League are waiting for us. Among those teams that we could get drawn against: Spartak Moscow, West Ham, a few more.
Olympique Lyonnais, Frankfurt, Monaco.
I was trying to go off the top of my head there, Bruno, and I forgot. Anyway, the players took a knee like they did in the first leg at the Camp Nou before the game got started. Barca with the first possession, but Jordi Alba with a bad touch there, and the ball goes out for a throw-in. So, first 15 seconds of the game, and Napoli with the ball now. They throw the ball away. Another throw-in for Barca. Barca regain possession. What are we to look out for today, Pau? For example, one of the things that Xavi has changed compared to last week is that Serginho Dest is starting at right back. Mingueza did a brilliant job on Insigne. Obviously, the captain will be looking to make a bit more of an impact for Napoli today, and it's going to be, let's say, a busy night for Serginho Dest.
Yes, he's going to have to see whether or not he will follow Insigne in the inside spaces, which we know that he likes to occupy. He also will have to be very careful on when he's going up, paying attention to this player. But if we saw in the last game that Adama had two opponents, let's see what happens tonight if Serginho Dest joins Adama. How many players can we actually attract from Napoli there?
Napoli recover the ball. On the subject of Serginho Dest, Bruno, we tend to think, in the absence of Dani Alves, we tend to think of Mingueza as the defensive approach and Dest more as the attacking approach. But the other day in Mestalla, Dest did a wonderful job on a dangerous player like Brian Gilles.
Absolutely. He was a key player in defense, Serginho Dest. We all think that probably his best aspect of the game is always in attack, but also defending. The other day he showed a great performance. It's also another big test for him tonight. But I think that little by little he's also getting the confidence from Xavi Hernandez. Of course, this was a signing from the former Barca manager Ronald Koeman, and this also always for a player it's important when you know you have all the support from a manager. But in this case, I think that Xavi step by step and little by little he's also believing in Serginho Dest.
And let's not forget, of course, that Dest didn't get very many minutes at the beginning of Xavi's tenure, but he was coming from an injury.
Absolutely, and also remember, because sometimes